Hello, my name is Frank Perry, and I'm going to talk to you about how to have the best year of your life in your business and in your life generally. But before I start, I'd like to ask you a question. Can you tell me what it would take for you to have the best year of your life in business and in your life generally? Now, I'd like you to participate. The operative word is excel. So, what would it take for you to excel in your business? Time. People always say time. What else? Goals. Plans. And focus. What I find most of the time when we speak to professional groups, we ask them what it would take to succeed in something, and they can readily tell us what to do. We talk to accountants, solicitors, estate agents, and other professional orientated bodies, and we ask them the same question. What does it take to succeed in your business? And they can provide us with the list. They know what to do, they know how to do it, they can do it, and they have the power to do it. There's no question about that. Let me ask you, what separates the person of excellent results and average results? What separates them? Well, it's the amount of action they take. And the flip side of that is inaction or procrastination. So let me tell you what I know about life, living, and getting a result. Most people know what to do, they know how to do it, they can do it, but they don't do it. And the reason for it is procrastination. So I'm here to talk to you about how to beat procrastination. In this presentation, I'll talk about failure and the process of failure. We'll talk about the 4 reasons for procrastination, why we procrastinate. And we'll talk about life and living and the 3 components of life. You'll find that interesting. And I'll show you the 3-step formula to beat procrastination. In fact, you will take more action and get more done than you would ever imagine in the next 90 days than you would over a 12-month period. So who's up for that? Who would like to achieve that over the next 90 days? And at the end of this presentation, I'm going to ask you to become my client. Most people fail at most things they do. Failure is endemic in our world. At the beginning of a failure cycle, people get excited. What do you think happens in a person's mind for them to get excited? They look to the future. They see the future. And they see the plans all laid out, the materials that are available, the additional assistance along the way, and they say, I'm going to get involved in this. And they look to the future, and guess what happens? They get excited. They say, I know what to do here, and they get excited. And they start to do it, and they get excited. And then some people move to the 2nd stage of the failure cycle. And that's avoidance behavior. They avoid behavior they know they should do to be successful. They delay, they defer, they put it off till another time, those things they know they have to do to succeed. And then on the 3rd stage, people make excuses. So what good excuse could you make for non-performance in your business and in your life in general? Well, the most common excuse is we don't have enough time. Well, we never seem to have enough time, yet we have all the time there is. There are people in your business who are hugely successful and they have the same amount of time as you have. The last port of call is a vertical drop into oblivion. That's blame. So you have the complete failure cycle. Have you ever failed at anything? Well, everybody's failed at something. Even as little children, when we learn to walk, we fall over, so we fail. Failure is not necessarily a bad thing. The occasional failure, it can be a salutary, beneficial learning experience. But it's the people who are born here, die here, and they experience excitement, avoidance behavior, excuses, and blame again and again and again and again, all their lives. So they end up with total, all-encompassing and consuming failure cycle. Then you hear people in business and they say, it's not my fault that I didn't succeed. It's the government of the day. It's the European Commission. It's the banks. But when I'm pointing at the source of blame, there are three fingers pointing back at me. And inscribed on these three fingers, in invisible ink, is I am responsible. I am responsible. So it's a beautiful day when somebody stands tall, looks to the future and says, I am responsible for everything that happens in my life. That's a turning point for many people. I urge you to try it. Avoidance behavior, that's procrastination. So there are 4 reasons for procrastination. The first reason is people set the wrong goals. They set the wrong goals. They set goals that are inconsistent with their inherent set of beliefs and our core understanding. In the society we live in, there are many opportunities to do what we like. In Ireland and the European Union, we can get educated as an adult. Right now, we can change career. We can just turn around and change career. We can do what we like. Some people set goals that are too high. Now, what happens to a person who sets a goal that's too high? They set the goal, but they don't achieve it. And they do it a number of times. What happens if they set a goal just so high and they just don't quite make it? They give up. They become disillusioned, demoralized, and disempowered. And this is the thing about goal setting, and we discussed this in our program. If you can keep in mind a goal that you know you can achieve, and you do achieve, you create power. William James said, little by little you build your power. It's not about aiming for the moon and landing on a star. It's about aiming for the moon and landing on the moon. That's success, that's power. People are goal-setting mechanisms. If you can keep in your mind a goal that you know you can achieve, you can experience the steady rhythm of daily accomplishment in goals that are perfect for you. They are perfect for you. You get into the rhythm of accomplishment, into the clip of life. Some people set goals that are too low. Even though they have the capability, they have the potential, and they can do things easily. But they set goals that are too low. What happens to a person who sets goals too low? They become bored, disinterested, disillusioned with life and living, and disempowered. People have goal-setting mechanisms. If you can keep in mind a goal you know you can achieve, you can experience the steady rhythm of daily achievement with goals that are perfect for you. They are perfect for you. And you get into the rhythm of accomplishment, into the clip of life. And here you can find, through self-analysis, goals that will bring out the best in you, will give you the best sense of accomplishment. Some people say that life is the pursuit of happiness. I don't believe that. Life is about the pursuit of life is happiness. Your pursuit. You wake up each day and you say to yourself, I'm doing this. I'm accomplishing this. I'm building my goal. I'm building my power. My life is a great adventure because I have set it up in that way. The procrastinator doesn't do that. He sets the wrong goals and he has an unclear focus. He's unclear of what he wants to create and what he wants to do. He has a non-clear focus. Now, John Keogh had a program called Mind Power, and he said, weak and scattered thoughts are weak and scattered forces, whereas strong and concentrated thoughts are strong and concentrated forces. So set yourself a clear focus of what you want to do. And something happens at the unconscious level to get you into the rhythm of accomplishment of your life as well. So set yourself the right goals and a clear focus. And the third reason for procrastination is no action plan. No action plan. No day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, year-to-year, decade-to-decade action plan. An action plan that is broken down over the doable bits and chunks that you can get in there and accomplish. Okay, who has goals? Everybody has goals. That's great, marvelous. This is my goal. I want to achieve this goal. But few people identify the major steps that have to be taken to achieve this goal. Balance of goals, the short-term, medium-term and long-term steps that have to be taken in order to reach this outcome. Fewer people identify the micro steps. There are many of them and they underpin the major steps. So these are the micro steps. Now the most powerful thing about this is you don't have to believe, and this is contrary to what we say in other places, but you don't have to believe that you'll achieve this goal, provided you carry out the micro steps. You ask yourself, can I do this? And if the answer is yes, then you can achieve your goal. Because everybody has the power and ability to take the micro steps to greatness. Everybody has the ability to take the steps to greatness. You want to learn a language? Learn a phrase a day. You want to learn a brand new skill? Improve your vocabulary? You work at it every day, each and every day, and you build and you build and you build. You can do that. And it is doing these steps in concert that we achieve our goal. Now the thing about society is few people do this. Few people go to the trouble of setting it all up. They know the importance of setting goals. They know the story about 1% who do it, but they don't do it. In our program, we do it. We make sure you do it. You step into the program day in, day out, and you know exactly what to do. So what do you call people who don't do this? What are they? They're dreamers. They're not goal setters at all. They're one day I'll accomplish something. Well, one day I'll is sinking in the Atlantic Ocean under the weight of people's dreams. Now, to refine this process, we must realize that the procrastinator encounters mental barriers from time to time. So what are mental barriers? What are mental barriers? What do you think I mean when I say mental barriers? Well, fear, doubt, uncertainty, concern, lack of confidence. Fear and doubt are responsible for more unrealized potential than any other two things on this planet. Fear and doubt, they erode the prospect of you achieving much. In our program, we talk about certainty and certitude. and the accomplishment, the attitude, the mind towards accomplishment. That's what we talk about mostly. Now, did you ever hear that phrase, get a life? Well, I can confirm all of you have a life. So everybody has a life, has a past, no matter how spectacular that past is. And you can have a future. You notice I said you can have a future. Not everybody has a future. Some people live in the past. Do you ever meet somebody and you get into discussion about their issues and you're sort of hoping that they say something positive that they want to create in the future, but they don't. They talk about the past. I call them the past people. Mental barriers come from the past. What is this? This is the now. Do you ever think about that? Do you know what the now is? This moment? It's the only moment power you have. Humans created the past and the future. All we have is this moment, this second, this instant. The instant you give energy to a thought, think about that. It's the edge of the future. The instant you give energy to a thought. How many thoughts do you think an average person has per day? Well, it's said that they have between 40 and 60,000 thoughts a day. Isn't that amazing? Do you think thoughts have any bearing on your life? Do they influence your life? They create your life. What you think, you become. The thoughts you dwell on all day long become real in your life. The predominant thoughts in your mind create the outcome of your life, create the predominant outcomes of your life. If thoughts create reality, we're in control. We're in control of our reality, of our experience, of our existence. If thoughts create reality, why don't we just do it? Well, I'll tell you why. 90% of the thoughts people have are focused on a certain period of time. Do you know what that period is? It's the past. We have a propensity of thinking who we are, what we have become, how things have worked out for us, about our finances. But we have this amazing equation that we have thoughts of 40 to 60,000 per day. 90% of them are focused on the past. And yet we have the power and ability to insert any thought at any time into our mind. We can consciously deliver thoughts to our mind. So why don't we do it? We have a propensity for sameness. We are comfortable with the familiar. Humans are comfortable with the familiar. We go out of our way to create issues, even though they're to our disadvantage. So how do we get out of it? We can't get out of it. Here we are, running in our reality, hoping, wishing, dreading. Sometimes we get a glimpse of what we could become, and then we get excited, and then something kicks in, avoidance behavior, and we look to the past and we say, that's not me, I can't do that. We capitulate to the sameness in our minds. We lose sight of the fact that we can become who we want to become. So what it's all about now is setting goals, setting the right goals, having a clear focus, having an action plan, and looking to the future. So how do we create a formula in your thinking and living that will get you where you want to go? Well, there is an approach, and it's this. You must give yourself a compelling reason to look to the future more often. Every day you should look to the future. Who would like me to predict their future with 95% accuracy? I can do it straight away. If you don't want to hear, block your ears and look away. I'm going to tell you how to predict your future with 95% accuracy. All you have to do is look at the last 5 years of your life. And what you're looking at is repetition. And that is your pattern. And it's highly probable that you will continue in that pattern. If you're looking for a job or you're seeking a job, do you expect the employer to look at what you say you're going to do, or they look at your past? They look at your past. They look at your references and your past because that's your pattern. Does an insurance company assess a population on the basis of what they say they're going to do? They look at their history. For motor insurance, life insurance, actuarial studies are done in order to establish their reliability. It is reliable to look to your past to predict the future. And people don't change. But human beings can change. We can get in there and make changes. It requires discipline and application, and you're a coach to go through the process over a 12-month period from our perspective. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 things to do. The first thing is give yourself a vision with pulling power. Now you must take the time to work out what your personal private vision is. Make sure it is other person centered. Make sure that it focuses on something worthwhile for other people. Focus on other people. People who have a disposition to help other people tend to have a better result in life. An emotional thing happens in society. I call that an emotional power that helps get you where you want to go. So give yourself a vision with pulling power and a compelling reason to look to the future. How many people do you know that wake up each morning, sit bolt upright in their beds, look to the future, and look at their watch or clock and say, I'm glad I slept so well last night. I have so much to accomplish. What proportion of people live their lives like that? 1% people say, or maybe less than 1%. Well, Abraham Maslow had something to say on that. He developed the hierarchy of needs, but he also developed the theory of motivation. And in it, he deals with people who would self-actualize. And there's a series of parameters that make up a person who self-actualizes. But they are in a very small minority that would live their life in that particular order. 90% of people, generally speaking, are bemoaning the fact that they are doing what they are doing and not achieving what they want to achieve in life. That's the position in our world. So give yourself a vision with pulling power. Make sure it is other person centered. And gain mastery of your inner world. So how do you gain mastery of your inner world? Well, that's simple. We talk about something called preferred reality conditioning. That's the conditioning of your mind in order to create preferred reality. Your reality comes from the decisions you make. The quality of the decisions and the wisdom of those decisions make up the quality of your life. We are the sum total of how we think, how we speak, how we feel, how we act and don't act. You are responsible for your reality. Essentially, you can have a preferred reality. Many people have a preferred reality. Something they prefer to be doing in their life or in their career, in their finances and in their health or whatever, right? So, why don't we move from our why don't we move from our current reality to our preferred reality? Why don't we just transport ourselves from one to the other? The reason is change is hard. And we resist change. We are resistant to change. We are stuck in the past. We have a psychology that disposes towards sameness. So change is difficult. It requires somebody to think above the crowd in a new and different way. How would you like to learn how to think in a new and different way? Okay, now, we have a simple formula that will give you an entree into what we do in our program. And the first part of the simple formula is this. We have a faculty of our mind that is visual. We call that the visual faculty of the mind. And that faculty is the most powerful mental faculty we have to bring about events and circumstances that we prefer. Albert Einstein had something to say about this. He said, what you see on the screen of your mind is a preview of life's coming attractions. What you see on the screen of your mind is a preview of life's coming attractions. Or put more succinctly, what you see is what you get. When did you hear somebody say, or maybe you said it yourself, I knew that was going to happen. I could see it coming. You created it. You create your life. It's not external circumstances. You bring them to you. Think about that. What you see on the screen of your mind is a preview of coming attractions. Now, the second part of the formula is this. We all have a script that we run our life by. Shakespeare said it. He said, all the world's a stage and all the men and women in it merely players. We have this tape running through our head and it goes something like, I'm the kind of person who tends to. Life has always been like this for me. Money has always been an issue for me. Or on the other hand, money has never been an issue. I've always had just enough and I've had the flexibility and freedom to do things. People think these things. And the people who think these things, guess what? They think it didn't happen. They think the thought came first. The disposition came first. They created the reality. So what you say and what you see is what you get. What does the procrastinator say? Procrastinator says, I can't do it now. I'll do it some other time. So there's a say and a see here that creates the procrastination. This cuts across everything. What about confidence? I'm not very confident. I was never very confident. Somebody said something to me when I was a child and it demolished my confidence. I've never regained it. I'm not very confident. I'm not very confident. I'm not very confident. How many times do you say that to yourself? In a year? Over 10 years? Why do you say things to yourself that limit you? The combination of the visual and the script, or what you say and what you see, is what you get. Okay, so now we'll give you a little experience of how to beat procrastination. The procrastinator says, I can't do it now, I'll do it tomorrow or some other, right? So this experience we've just based on a statement of control, and you can see what it's like, or an instruction of control, and see what it's like. So the procrastinator says, I can't do it now. The person who thinks above the crowd in a new and different way, they say, I get everything done I have to get done today. I get everything done I have to get done today. I get everything done I have to get done today. I get everything done I have to get done today. That is a self-instruction. You see some work waiting to be done and you immediately do it. You begin doing that work. You told yourself to do it. Tell yourself to do it. Tell yourself to change. I get everything done I have to get done today. I get everything done I have to get done today. There's a rhythm to that. There's a clip to that. Tell yourself every morning, I get everything done I have to get done today. Friday is my favorite day. So in the morning, I make an affirmation to myself. I say, I get everything done by lunchtime. I get everything done by lunchtime. I get everything done by lunchtime. So I work twice as fast. And lo and behold, on lunchtime, I have everything done. So I can take a half day. So would you like to get a half day because you spoke to yourself in the morning? Now that is generally largely what I wanted to talk about. The third process is the alpha mind. I'm talking about the total focus program, which I'll explain later. The alpha mind is a technique to teach you how to think in a new and different way. It's not part of this presentation. I just wanted to bring your attention to that or share it with you. Okay? So at this stage, I ask you, have you got anything from the presentation? And I just summarize by saying that the combination of the visual and the script, of what you say and what you see, is probably the most salient item here today. I get everything done I have to get done today. When everybody in a firm says that, productivity increases. I get everything done I have to get done today. I get everything done I have to get done. That is a self-instruction, not a self-destruction. Thank you very much. I just want to ask you one last thing, two things. First of all, I would like you to complete a commentary form, which I've circulated, okay? And there are a couple of questions, and if you just circle the answer, I'd appreciate that. The Total Focus program will be in the Hilton Hotel in Dublin on the 3rd of February from 7 till 10, and on the 10th of February from 7 till 10. Thank you very much.